What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Don't forget to check out my website, ckwraps.com. I'll put a link in the description below for you. Now today I'm going to be starting a series of videos called Will It Wrap? Will it wrap basically means, will it wrap? Can we wrap whatever product it is that we're going to be trying to wrap that day? It could be a coffee mug, could be a bowling ball, could be a tennis shoe, could be a chair, could be a wall, could be this coffee table right here. Being able to and understanding what vinyl can and can't do, this is basically what the lesson is here. Can we push the limits of the film and see if it will adhere and if it will last, or if it will fail? I'll give you my personal opinion on basically how long I think something like this would actually last. We're using a very cheap coffee table here today, but does have a high energy level on the surface and the sides. This side, however, over here has the piece missing. If you look very closely, you'll see that it's bare, basically MDF. It's like kind of like a cardboard. It's not very high energy. It's very porous and a textured surface. So will this film that we're going to be using today stick to it, and will I be able to decorate this coffee table up to make it look a lot better than what it looks like right now? We'll see. I have pretty good faith that I'll be able to do it, but I'll also give you my personal opinion on how I feel like the film is sticking to this edge right here and the things that we can do in order to maybe make it stick a little bit better. It won't need much to do this. You'll need a squeegee. So just some kind of squeegee with a buffer on it, which is that little yellow strip on the end there. We'll need a knife. I use 30-degree blades. Again, link to description, link to all the products in the description below. We're gonna need some isopropyl alcohol. This is just 70% isopropyl alcohol to clean and prep the surface. And we're gonna need some vinyl, of course. So today the vinyl that I'm using is Vvivid Epoxy carbon fiber. This is an interior use only carbon fiber. This is not exterior use. Reason being is because water can get in between the laminate, all right? And then once you get water in between the laminate, the film doesn't look as nice. Will it function for a coffee table? I believe so. If someone spills something on it, I think it'll be totally fine. It's not like we have, wind and rain pouring in from the edges, coming in on the sides, so it should last. You can use this on the interior of your car. I've used it on many interiors and things like that, or just decorate your office desk at home or whatever else you can come up with for the most part. This film is very thick, so it's very durable. It's 6.5 mil thick, so it's a little bit thicker than most films on the market. We're in the PPF range or paint protection film range as far as the thickness of this film goes, but this stuff looks gorgeous. So we're gonna basically restore this table and hope that the film sticks to that textured edge on that side there. On top of that, there's some chips out of it and chunks out of it. I mean, it's gonna be basically as good as the surface or the canvas will allow. What we're going to have to do first here is we're going to have to prep the surface with isopropyl alcohol, which I've already done. Royce! We're going to spray this down, wipe all the edges, and then I'm going to bring you in for some close-up camera action to show you how to actually wrap this. The big piece I'll show you how to put down, and then I'll bring you in for the actual corners and the cutting and all that sort of stuff. But this should be a fairly quick process. In order to do this, it shouldn't take too long. Again, we're working with a very flat surface here, mostly high energy, so we should be pretty good when it comes to completing this. Oh, snagged in there. Just want to make sure there's no contaminants on top of the table, mainly because it'll stick through the film, and the film is a little bit thicker, so it's going to show that a little bit more. This film has a protective cap, so what I can do is I can actually install it with the protective cap on it for the most part, which will minimize scratching. So I've already got my piece cut to the size that I need. It's a little bit long, not a big deal. We'll cut some off. So I'm going to come up over just this edge a little bit over here, and then I'm going to cut off some excess on this side right here because we don't need all this. Perfect. Next thing we do is we're going to line this up, so we want to make sure that everything stays, as straight as possible. It's very important. We want our carbon fiber table to look, more legit and not crooked. So we're just going to take our time when it comes to placement. I'll peel off some of the release liner. It's easier to take and peel the sticker off of the actual release liner, which is the paper, as opposed to peeling the paper off of the sticker. So once I get some of this down, it should stay in place. It shouldn't move too much right now. This film is not going to stretch all that much, especially with the protective cap on it. Squeegee this out. So we want to squeegee the air from the center to the outer edge. Very important. Again, try and keep this as centered as possible. I like to do a little bit at a time. The film is going to be a little bit sticky. Obviously, it's laying across a large horizontal surface, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to squeegee the air out sometimes. If we get really stuck, we can lift up from the edges. We try not to lift it because we don't have to. And if we squeegee sooner and we don't wait too long, it's easier to actually squeegee the air out. So that means we don't let the vinyl sit for too long with a large section of it down. If you peel off all of the backing paper, all the release liner, it's going to be much more difficult to do. So do a bit at a time. It's going to be a lot easier. Squeegee that. There's a couple of bubbles there. Bubbles you can just push down, just give them a moment. What I can do here is kind of hold this a little bit, hold it taut, and if I hold it tight, not too much of the film will hit the surface. I'm just kind of pushing it down right now. And the paper is sort of crunching down or folding down right here. I'm going to stand up. It's going to make life a little bit easier. Can't always wrap while sitting down. I'll be able to move faster like this. Once I get the surface squeegeed, we're going to remove the protective cap. The protective cap comes off very easily. It's just a layer used basically for shipping purposes, but you can do some installs with it on, depending on how flat the surface is. That's the end of it. So my squeegee pressure is very important. I push very aggressively, and I make sure that I've pushed all the air out. Amazing. So that looks like it's down. We're gonna peel off the protective cap right now. What I need to do is just find it from a corner. Any corner will do. I'll grab it from this corner here, and we can see how easy it is for it to come off. All the scratches that I just caused from my squeegee are all gone now, everything. Now it looks really beautiful. Let's get that out of here. I've also got a heat gun. The heat gun is going to help when it comes to sealing up the edges a little bit. So I forgot to mention that in the beginning as far as tools that you need. Let's start over in the front here so you can see as far as the cutting goes. What we want to do right here is really define the corner. So we can see right here that the corner peaks, okay? So the fact that the corner peaks, we want to do some kind of a cut right here at the corner. What I like to do is I like to fold down one side first. And then I'm going to cut straight from the corner down. Right on the edge. Okay? Look, see where that sits? That sits nice and flush with that basically cardboard side of the film. What I'm also going to do right now is I'm going to heat down this edge so that this vinyl just kind of drops and drapes itself over top. Right there. I don't want to stretch it down too much since we have a very low energy surface. That's going to could cause it to lift if we stretch it. We don't want that. Right now the film is basically pre-shrinking. I'll take this edge now and I'll pull it tight. And what I'm going to do is overlap it the other way just ever so slightly. When I say pre-shrink, I mean the film is actually pre-shrinking a little bit. So all vinyl sort of pre-shrinks right off the roll. You don't even have to stretch it for it to shrink. It will shrink. Okay, so this is sort of what our corner is going to look like. You could end up doing it a little bit nicer if you want to. Again, it doesn't really look that bad at all. I'll heat it down afterwards and that'll seal it up a little bit nicer. Let's turn the table again. Let's just pull it more towards me this way. Let's do this corner down here. So again, I want to lay this section down right there. And then we're going to do a cut right from the very top at the very peak of the film. Perfect. And then that piece will fold down and around this way. So let's, again, cut off the excess here. And I can just run my blade on the opposing side of the edge So the back of my blade is running flush down the edge of that corner there. And let's get this out of the way. Once I finish that cut right there, I'm going to heat and let this whole edge come down, and then I can trim it off. You can use a glove. It'll help your fingers glide a little bit better. I'm going to heat this top edge and let the vinyl just shrink and do its thing. It'll also show me if I've missed any areas where I didn't squeegee down hard enough. So I'm going to start rolling over that top edge. Let's bring the table in a little bit more. And we'll just gradually work all this down. We don't want to work one area down too much more than another area. We want to keep everything pretty symmetrical. Does this side look a little bit chewed up? Yes, it does. I mean, it's overlapping that cardboard fake wood stuff, and which is already peeling off kind of. Once I get all these corners down and all these edges down, we're going to trim it all up. All right, that side's done. Let's do this side over here. Take my glove off because it's hard to hold the blade with the glove on. So again, from the very top corner right here, take my blade, and I can run it on the back side of this table's edge. And just come straight through. Perfect. Let's flatten out this edge right here. Just keeping a bit of tension on it. It's going to make things a little bit faster. And I'm going to start using my squeegee because I didn't find the glove was as efficient as using a squeegee. It's going to be a little bit faster to use a squeegee. Amazing. A little bit more down here. Pre-shrink that. Perfect. Okay, so that's all down right there. That's all down. Let's get this edge down now. Just saw a little bit of air there. All right, so again, to trim this right here, pretty straightforward. Take your blade, run it on the back edge of the table, and you're done. Cut that piece off completely. Then you heat it down, basically seal up the edge. It creates a very seamless edge. This table, in the beginning, it had seams on the corners anyways, so it's not like it's gonna really look that much different. All right, we've got basically one more corner to do, 2 more edges to put down, and that's it. Let's do this corner over here. Grab all my stuff, bring it over. Do this corner right here, start from the top. Perfect. Then I'm gonna bring this vinyl down right now. Just putting it in its place makes things a little bit easier, faster that way, more efficient. It does help to heat it. The heat just makes the film very pliable and very soft. As you can see, it starts to look very flimsy and soft. That's what the heat's going to do for you. All right, one more edge to put down over here. This table is going to look pretty gorgeous. Oh, just unplugged it. So hopefully you guys can see the vinyl just kind of shrinking and falling down. Again, I'm just going to hold it flat, keep it tight, not too tight. A little bit of air in there, let's get that out. Used my thumb on this side, I was too lazy to grab my squeegee. There we go. Cut off this one last little bit, and then we're going to cut all around the bottom of the table, and then we're done. I'll show you what it looks like. So what we're going to do now is just trim the size of the table. When you're trimming the table, what you want to do is run your blade on the end, on the very bottom side of this edge. We can't use a lot of blade because we'll end up hitting whatever's in there. Like it's mounted to something, obviously. There's some screws and stuff in there. So we don't want to use too much of the knife, just enough. Come around the corner. Let's move the table so you can actually see. So again, keeping my blade on that underside edge. We don't need to leave a lot of extra film. For one, it's not going to pull back, or because we haven't stretched the vinyl. You know, it's very relaxed. Two, it's going to be hard to tuck in vinyl underneath. Once we finish cutting all this off, what we're going to do is we're going to go over it with heat again one more time and seal up the edges really nice. All right, I think it's just one more cut on this long side right here. This is the side with the cardboard, so you can actually see the texture on this side under the carbon fiber. This is the side, I mean, we could have this side face the wall if we have it against the wall. That's off, that's off. And I have a long piece over here, just pull that off, perfect. Now, we're gonna go over one more pass with the heat gun around all the edges. It's just gonna seal it up. And if we have too much extra vinyl, we'll be able to roll it around a little bit. I don't really have any, but just saying. If you didn't happen to cut it flush enough or smooth enough. Actually looks pretty amazing, right? Well, that's it. That's the table wrap. So here is the edge where the cardboard sits. I'm going to bring you in close to look at all of this. So we can see this edge. You can see its textured finish. But actually the vinyl is adhering very well to it. I'm not really worried about it. Let's zoom, focus this. Yeah, it does look pretty ugly, so probably could have sanded it down if you really wanted to. But the vinyl is not just gonna flick off or peel up, really. See? You can get an edge if you want to, but it's not just gonna fall off the table. Simply because we relaxed the film on this edge, on all the edges. See what the corners look like? This is what happens when you do a cut and fold, right? Not a whole lot to see there, because when you do them nicely, they look really good. Again, there were some chips in it. This is not even air. You can see I'm pushing down on it, nothing's happening. So this is just a bend in the table, I guess, and the wood on the top. Must have bumped into something. But that's what that corner looks like. Again, it's not 100% as far as the finish goes because of the wood, but it is an old table. Just a way to restore the look of something, basically. See it from the top. It's a pretty cool table. You can do this with just about anything, guys. It's not limited to just a table. And that's it. I do hope this video was informative and helpful. In the end, we got a nice carbon fiber table out of something that we were about to throw in the garbage. Probably put this in the front office there. It just looks cool for a little while. Maybe until we get something else and just maybe wrap something a little bit bigger. I feel like it's a little bit small. But again, way to restore a project, or not restore a project, but restore old furniture and make it look a lot better. You can do any kind of finish that vinyl comes in. You can do brushed metal, you can do carbon fiber, you can do chrome, you can do whatever you want, really, in the end. This edge that was really in bad shape over here, it looks a lot better. It's not perfect by all means, but the film is adhering very well to it. I'm not really concerned about that ever lifting off or ever being a problem down the road. It probably lasts forever until we throw the table out, unless someone starts throwing the table around or kicking it or damaging it in other ways. But again, this vinyl is not going to go anywhere. So will it wrap? Yes, it will. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it very much. Don't forget to give me a like and hit the subscribe button if you want to see some more. Thanks for watching. Take care.